So this is the chart for right now. And like you were saying, we have the sun here in the 56. And it has been, I think it was Saturday or Sunday that it was completely opposite Pluto. So really what I feel, it has been times of transformation, with times of rebirth. Uh, and with what we were speaking about a few weeks ago with Mars and Venus here in Leo meeting, I do feel it has to do with relationships that maybe aren't nurturing anymore, are not empowering anymore. That would be the themes here. They might need to die. They might need to transform. So that feels like that is very powerful. And maybe it is also that those relationships are a distraction. And I feel like, one of the things that can happen is that I know we've spoken about it before, the comfort. You go into something and it feels comfortable. And I even think that the 56 can be about false leadership. So it is on the cusp between Cancer and Leo. So you think that to have that house, to have that car, to be two parents that live together with the kids, like there is this Cancer fourth house that, yeah, at least we are a family. There is no intimacy, there's no fun anymore, but at least we are a family. And then the other part of it on the other side of the cusp is Leo. So that's all about self-empowerment. It's all about fun. It's all about, being on stage. So that also, when you're comfortable and not outside your comfort zone, then it's like, I believe that even your audience is kind of going to have that same frequency. And you're not going to move forward. And also archetypically, when we look at Cancer and Leo, this is ruled by the moon and this is ruled by the sun. So really we have those polarities that are important to look at. That's something that I feel is important. Whose life are you living out? We see the 56 in the throat center, and here in an open throat center, it means there is outside influence. So when you have it in an open throat center, especially, it can be, okay, you're seeking approval or attention. That's the not self. And if this is how you believe, or you're conditioned to think that you're supposed to live, maybe you are compromising on the nurturing or on the leadership and self-leadership. That feels very, very important right now. And there's also something about, when I was looking at the Earth is in the 60, we have Saturn in the 19, and we have Pluto in the 61. So the 61 and the 19 have been there for a while because it's the outer planet. So I was looking at the Codon Ring of Gaia, and this is the blueprint that all beings the Ring of Gaia holds the blueprint that all beings that share this planet Earth will eventually once again live in union. This genetic grouping allows or prevents awareness to move between different life forms and connect all beings on Earth along the same initiatory journey. And I can continue, but there is something here too. It wants us to come together, and it wants us to come together in a way that is true and aligned. The 19 is about codependency. So that goes back to that 56. Are you living in codependency? Then we have Jupiter in the 55, freedom. Are you in victimization and freedom? Because do you think that if you leave, you might not have the kids, or you might not have the Mercedes, or, there can be a lot of beliefs. Jupiter is about belief system, and limitations is the 60, and the 61 is like, do you dare to have the inspiration to transform your life? Do you dare to think transcendently in the sixth line of the 61? So, and then we have this reflector chart right now, so it feels like all of the possibilities are there, and here the G center is about the self, it's about direction, it's about love. It's like you can have all the love stories, you can be who you want to be, and you can know what love is and what leadership is, and you can be the way shower of your own direction. So that second gene key, you can see this magical number. For me, this is powerful. I have the 2.4 in my life's work. So now I have Uranus coming up, almost like coming up to my life's work, but it's going retrograde before it touches it. So I feel like I have this like pre-taste of what it's going to be next time it comes along and it actually goes over. And it is about, it's not so comfortable for Taurus. It wants also that foundation and can be comfortable together with what we said before, to actually feel Uranus come in and like radically change things in a way that isn't expected. So that's something I believe that we all are here to learn to hold right now. what is, and a lot with the second line especially, it's going to be in partnership again, it's going to be with the other. And the second house, or the two, is all, it is about stability. So there's something here where stability that can get shaken, especially when it has to do with relationships. And there are all the possibilities in the world if you have the courage to live from your true self and not to go off in distraction in something that actually isn't in sovereignty. So yeah, that's what I feel. John, what do you feel with all this?
What I keep coming to with these ideas of union, Bella, that this simmering water is pointing towards, and this shadow of distraction, is the fact that a human being is inherently created within boundaries. We have a physical boundary to our beingness, our physical bodies, and the distraction that is generated by that experience of self and other. You know, why is this shadow of distraction? Why does it even function? Well, because we have this idea that there is a self and there is something outside of the self that is determined by this boundary. And so we can seek that which is other, whether it's material entertainment or mental entertainment, physical entertainment, what have you, because we have this perception that the things that are outside of our boundaries are not ourselves, which is in direct contrast to what all these things are pointing towards: partnership, union, divine harmony across all of these spaces. All of those things are looking at the dissolving of these boundaries, of not of no longer perceiving that which is outside us as something different from ourselves. And to me, once you begin to witness all of the elements in life as an aspect of yourself, those judgments of negative things that may be intoxicants or distractions in our lives, they become vehicles for enrichment. So that's where I end up looking at, and what I feel like the picture you're painting, Bella, with all of these influences is pointing us towards, is how can we move from this placement of seeing the self as this individual separated from everything around us, that we can continually choose this process of distraction. How can we move beyond that into this state of enrichment?
Yeah, two things come up for me when I hear you. And the first thing, or the second thing that came up, but the first thing I want to speak about is, from my perspective, I believe that I see more separation within a being, even than between beings. And that's the fragmentation that kind of catches my eye more. And this can be as simple as working with a Venus sequence, where we can see that the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual are pulling us in different direction. And sometimes we aren't as aware of it as what you are speaking about with me and you, me and the other. And I believe that it influences us or affects us more when there is an inner fragmentation, because somehow, like you're saying, we're like, but I'm just me. No, but there are all these things in you that are pulling on you, and that makes it completely impossible for you on the outside with the other to have a relationship where there is harmony, because there's no harmony in yourself. So that's even, kind of going back one more step of like, why do we see so much dissonance, so much discord, so much division in the world? Well, it's just a reflection of what's on the inside. So I always pointed back to the inner work that is so important. And that leads me into the other thing that is also has to do with you, because I could hear that when you spoke, I could hear the 29. And I'm looking at the chart and I'm like, oh, interesting. Venus, she's in the 29 right now, and she's saying, it's full devotion, and you need to be a master of devotion. That's the only way to live intoxication if you want to live in the city. And the only way of nurturing a relationship and being empowered in a relationship is when you can say completely yes to that experience, where we have this life force that says yes from the beginning to the end of that experience, no matter what happens, even if it is going into the abyss, which is what the I Ching says about the 29. It's completely in. And the 46 is the love of being here in physical form. So rather than seeing this vessel as a limitation, as a boundary, it is to be so grateful that we got to borrow this for a while, you know. So that feels, and that's what Venus is saying right now. These are the values that are going to help you. They're going to help you be empowered. It's going to help you, even in this chart, you know, kind of points us to the family of the fourth house, but it is a master of devotion. It says I'm all in or I'm all out. And that's the whole thing, where I'm feeling where we are right now, where it could say, oh, I mean, it's okay because I'm 75% in. It's better than many other people. Like, that is the saddest thing ever. But and that's what I feel is the trap. But here Venus comes and she says, no, like, I really want you to be devoted. I want you to be wholehearted, and I want you to be a master of that. All in or all out. Just kind of, you know, like, suck it up if it's not good, and make your decision so that you can say completely yes to the experience, or you can say no. And many things, many times with the 29, it is about learning to say no. And what you're saying, it's about focus rather than saying yes to all these things and then nothing is really done well. So that, you know, that's really alive when I hear you speak and when I know your design as well.